We have all felt it, whether it's higher grocery bills, rising rent, or just the knowledge that money doesn't stretch as far as it used to. And with the start of a new month and tax season ahead, it is time for a March Money Reset. So financial educator Derek Kinney is here with practical ways to reset, refocus, and rebuild financial confidence. Good morning to you.
Thank you, Aaron. Great to see you.
So glad to have you here. So you say the first step to making some changes is a quick money audit. What does that look like? What does that mean?
Well, think of it like a financial x-ray. You go to the doctor, they're going to put up on the screen, here's where the problem is, you're going to identify what's happening. Do the same thing with your money. Take about 30 minutes and on your notes on your phone or on a piece of paper, write down, here's what I own, here's what I owe, here's the money I make, and here's the money that I pay out, and give you a sense of where am I at financially. It may look ugly, let's be honest, but once you accept that fact and say, this is where I'm starting, now you can have a plan to know where to go from and start today fresh.
Plus, that's kind of a stress reliever because I think there's a ton of stress in the unknown, and we're scared to even tell ourselves our own information about our own bank accounts. And so it's not always easy to save. I want to make that very clear. It's not easy for every family to do that. So how can automating make such a difference when it comes to your financials?
Well, let's be honest. If people have to choose between partying with their friends or saving for retirement, most people pick their friends, right? And the other problem is there's often more month left than there is money. And we want to fight the calendar, and the calendar fights back. So the key is think about saving and investing like a bill. Do it first. And then whatever's left over, you can spend that. That way your priorities are budgeted and planned. And when you do that, you feel better. You feel like you're making progress, and it gives you confidence that I said no to something before. I can do it again to improve my personal financial situation.
I like this because, like you said, it is paying yourself, but you already have the money out of the way. It's out of the account. You don't need to touch it. What do you think is a realistic amount to start with?
Well, whatever you can afford, and then just a little bit more. So for some people, it might be 25 bucks a month. It might be $50 a month. The amount is not so much as can you do it on a consistent basis and then respect your ability to handle money. When you can say, you know, I said no to something I wanted and I did that consistently, that gives you confidence to say, you know what, I did it once, I can do it again. And it's very, very powerful regardless of where you start.
All of my shopaholics, this is for us, okay? We can say no and we will be okay. Now, for people who are struggling with budgeting, because sometimes it is hard to sit down and lay out everything that you have spent. Sometimes it's hard to even look at, how we just talked about. And so how does something like the 50-30-20 rule, how does that come into play with budgeting, and how does it make it easier?
Well, you want to look at needs and wants. And I think about this when I go to Home Goods. I call this the aisle of temptation. I go there to buy one item, but you weave through before you pay, and you find, I need that $9 item, that $9. Then you find, I spent $100 there, I meant to spend $25. So often I'll tell people, have an accountability partner. Have your Target or Home Goods accountability partner on speed dial and say, I'm about to do some binge shopping. I need you to walk me off the ledge and keep me out of that store, keep me in the parking lot. So sometimes just a word of accountability can help. But when you can set a budget and focus on the priorities that you've got, saving, you want to make sure you don't cut the joy out of your life. So many people think I need to cut all my Netflix and my Hulu, all my Amazon. And now you're sitting there, you're like knitting at home on a Friday night and you're bored stiff. Nobody's going to stick with a budget like that. Keep the joy in the budget, but find other places to cut and save.
Okay, I like this. Giving, what is the word? Minimalism. Like you can do it, but it doesn't have to be a ton, right?
That's right.
Also, I like the accountability partner thing because literally all you have to do is go shopping with your husband and he will make sure that you leave without spending too much.
That's a great partner right there,
The man does not want to be in there, okay? He's going to make sure you dip out. Now, let's talk about emergency funds. It can feel intimidating, especially when it feels like you're almost prepping for doomsday. And so what does that look like to make it more attainable for people?
The key is to have some sort of a rainy day fund, and you want to have two of them. One would be in a checking account that's very easy to find. Money is there if you need it, but also from a high yield savings account, keeping money that's out of sight, out of mind, that you do some extra hard work to pull it out of that. The key is not having to put the credit card down for every unexpected expense. When you've got cash to cover it, or you use the credit card and you have cash to pay it off in 30 days, now you're winning the credit card game and not losing theirs. That's the key, and when you're in control.
Yes, yes. Okay, so beyond numbers, there's an emotional side to money, right? Which I think we can all grow attached to the check that we receive. And so how can people rebuild their financial confidence without necessarily getting attached to what's coming in? It's not who they are.
So, crazy story. Had a woman, longtime client, and she shares with me, Derek, I bounced a check. She thought she was going to be sent to jail because she saw her dad as a kid receive a phone call that said he was going to get sent to jail because he bounced a check. 55-year-old successful woman on the outside, picture of success. On the inside, this wilting flower, she had bad money beliefs. Ask yourself right now, if you're not making the money you feel like you deserve, you're not getting the promotion you want, you feel like you're not successful with money, you might have some beliefs about money that feels like you're not good at it.
Yeah.
I like to carry a huge reset button with me all the time, and I press it frequently. Derek made a mistake, reset. Derek made a mistake, reset. Do the same thing with your money, always starting fresh. Just start today, start Monday, and if you do good decisions today, then you can do it Tuesday, and then Wednesday. Now you're on a hot streak, and you're a success, not a failure financially.
It's about consistency
That's
and
exactly
grace
right.
and giving ourselves grace. These are great tips, Derek. Tell us quickly where we can find you.
Instagram is the hot spot for Derek. Derek Kinney, daily tips on how to make money, save money, and also how to give more money away.
Very good. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back, you guys.